True Blue Nation. Dodgers Report.
Pay attention, fans! The front office is considering a high-stakes gamble, giving up 3 future stars for 2 immediate championship solutions. It's the riskiest decision they've faced in years. If you want to know why this audacious trade could actually happen, hit that subscribe button now. You don't want to be left out of this breakdown. Welcome back to the channel. This is your #1 source for the hottest news and deepest analysis on our team. Before we dive into what could be the biggest move of the season, I need you to scroll down a bit and hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications because things are heating up before the trade deadline and you won't want to miss any exclusive updates. I bring you the news the moment it breaks, with the kind of analysis you can't find anywhere else. Done? Great! Let's get down to business because we have a massive blockbuster trade proposal on the table that could completely redefine our quest for a World Series repeat. We all know what our Achilles heel has been this season, the pitching staff. Injuries have hit us mercilessly, putting our rotation in a constant state of flux and overburdening a bullpen that, let's be honest, has had its ups and downs. The front office, led by Andrew Friedman, knows that to compete in October, we need fresh, reliable, and above all, dominant arms. And that's exactly what a new proposal from Bleacher Report suggests we could get. The proposal is audacious, a true blockbuster, a deal with the Washington Nationals that would bring us not just 1, but 2 all-star caliber players to solve our biggest needs. We're talking about left-handed starting pitcher Mackenzie Gore and right-handed relief pitcher Kyle Finnegan. Yes, you heard that right. A top-tier starter to solidify the rotation and an experienced arm for the end of games. Sounds like a dream, right? But as with any major negotiation, there's a price. And this, my friends, is an extremely steep price. To get Gore and Finnegan, the Nationals would demand a package of prospects that represents the heart of our future. The proposal suggests we would have to give up 3 names that make any Dodgers fan both excited and apprehensive at the same time. Catcher Dalton Rushing, outfielder Zyhir Hope, and left-handed pitcher Jackson Ferris. Let's break down what that really means. Dalton Rushing isn't just any prospect. He was our #1 prospect in 2024 and was named our organization's minor league player of the year last season. He's no longer just in the projections. He's already on the big league team, having made his debut on May 15th and serving as the competent backup to our all-star Will Smith. Trading Rushing means giving up a player who is already contributing at the MLB level and who has an incredibly high ceiling. And it doesn't stop there. Zyhir Hope and Jackson Ferris are our #2 and #4 prospects, respectively. Hope is a dynamic athlete with 5-tool potential, while Ferris is widely considered the best pitching prospect in our entire system. Giving up these 3 players in a single package is the equivalent of mortgaging a significant part of our future. It's a move the front office has historically avoided, preferring to build sustainably. However, the temptation is immense, and for good reason. Mackenzie Gore and Kyle Finnegan aren't just temporary fixes. They are elite talents who would transform our team immediately. Gore, a former top prospect who is finally reaching his potential, was selected to his first All-Star game this season. And his numbers show why. A spectacular 3.02 ERA in 19 starts, the 10th best in the National League. His 138 strikeouts rank him 4th in the league. He's not just an arm to fill out the rotation, he's a potential no-no. 2 or 3 who would give us terrifying depth alongside Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, and a healthy Walker Buehler. Furthermore, Gore is a lefty, bringing much-needed balance to a predominantly right-handed rotation. Finnegan, for his part, is also a former All-Star, selected in 2024. And although his numbers this season aren't as brilliant as last year's, a 4.37 ERA and 27 strikeouts, he brings something that cannot be underestimated: experience in high-leverage situations. He has converted 18 of 24 save opportunities for the Nationals, proving he has the mentality to close out games. One of the most attractive features of both players is their durability. Both Gore and Finnegan have stayed healthy for several seasons, a quality that seems to have eluded us lately. Bringing in 2 players you can count on to take the mound every 5th day or be available in the bullpen night after night would be a huge relief. And the cherry on top? The financial cost. Gore is earning just $2.9 million and Finnegan $6 million on their one-year deals. For a team like the Dodgers, these are incredibly low salaries for players of this caliber, allowing flexibility for other moves. So here's the dilemma Andrew Friedman and the front office face. Do they sacrifice 3 potential future stars, including the best pitching prospect in the system and a catcher who is already in the MLB, for a much greater chance to win the World Series now? With Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman on long-term contracts, the window to win is now. The pressure to capitalize on this historic roster is immense. This trade proposal embodies the classic battle between the present and the future. It's an all-in move that could lead us to back-to-back glory or leave us with a depleted farm system for years to come. Now, let's explore an alternative path. What if the front office looks at the asking price for Gore and Finnegan and decides it's simply too rich for their blood? What if they believe that giving up Rushing, Hopper, and Ferris in a single deal would create too big a hole in the organization's future? That doesn't mean they'd stand pat. It means they might pursue a more surgical approach, focusing on the most glaring need and acquiring the absolute best player available to fill that gap. And my friends, there's a name being floated that would make any bullpen go from good to terrifying. Jhoan Duran, the explosive closer for the Minnesota Twins. According to Joe Reuter of Bleacher Report, the Dodgers aren't just an interested team, we are considered the best possible landing spot for Duran. And when you look at the situation, it makes perfect sense. Injuries, as I mentioned, have been a constant theme, and the performance of our current closer, Tanner Scott, has been, to put it mildly, inconsistent during the first half of 2025. We need a lockdown guy, a pitcher who, when he comes in for the 9th inning with a 1-run lead, allows fans to breathe a sigh of relief. Jhoan Duran is exactly that guy, and perhaps more. To say Duran is having a good season would be an understatement. In 45 games, the 27-year-old right-hander boasts a 1.62 ERA. Let me repeat that, 1.62. It's currently the lowest ERA of his entire MLB career. He's not just preventing runs, he's dominating hitters in a way that few in the sport can. And the main reason for this is his elite velocity. When it comes to Duran's fastball, there's simply no comparison. With an average velocity of 100.3 miles per hour, no other pitcher in the league, with a minimum of 150 batters faced, throws harder. It's an intimidating velocity that forces hitters to make split-second decisions and often results in late weak swings. But Duran isn't just a power pitcher. His arsenal is deep and lethal. His fastball is actually his second most used pitch, behind only his splitter, which he uses 36.9% of the time. That splitter, with its late dive, acts as the perfect change of pace to his fireball, keeping hitters off balance. However, the pitch that has elevated him to another level this season is his sweeper, and this is where the analysis gets deep. Although he uses it only 8.3% of the time, its effectiveness is off the charts. Think about this. Duran has thrown his sweeper 56 times this season and has yet to give up a single hit on it. 0. Opposing batters are swinging and missing at this pitch an astounding 58.8% of the time. This is a pitch he threw only once in the entire last season. The addition and refinement of this weapon to his mix have transformed him from an elite closer into arguably the most dominant reliever in baseball. The combination of his elite performance and his contract status makes the idea of a trade even more complex. Duran is not a late season rental. He still has 2 more years of arbitration control after this season, which means whoever acquires him will have him for 3 playoff runs. This exponentially increases his trade value. The Minnesota Twins are also not in a full fire sale mode. Although they are 5 games out of the last wildcard spot, they aren't desperate to unload talent. This means that if they decide to trade Duran, the required return will be astronomical. We're talking about a package that would likely start with 1 or 2 of our top 5 prospects, similar to the cost of the Nationals trade, but for a single player. And herein lies the dilemma for our front office. We have a recent history of being cautious when trading for relievers at the deadline. The volatility of relief pitchers is well known, and Andrew Friedman generally prefers not to pay top dollar for them. However, Duran seems to be an exception. He's young, controllable, and possesses generational talent. Adding him to a bullpen that already features Evan Phillips and Bruce Gratterall would create a three-headed monster for the late innings, shortening games and giving our offense the best possible chance to secure victories. The question is the front office willing to pay the price of a top-of-the-rotation starter for a reliever, even if he's the best in the game? It's a bet that late-game dominance is more valuable than rotation depth. It's a fascinating decision, and one that defines what our team values most in building a championship roster. So let's put it all together and analyze the big picture. We have two very distinct scenarios before us, two different philosophies to achieve the same ultimate goal: hoisting the World Series trophy in October. On one hand, we have the blockbuster proposal with the Nationals, a comprehensive move that addresses multiple needs at once. We acquire Mackenzie Gore, a left-handed, young, controllable, all-star caliber starter who instantly solidifies the starting rotation that has been our biggest vulnerability. He gives us innings quality and a crucial balance. On top of that, we get Kyle Finnegan, a veteran bullpen arm with closing experience, adding depth, and another reliable option for Dave Roberts in the late innings. This deal, in theory, makes us a much more complete and robust team from top to bottom. The problem, and it's a monumental one, is the cost. Giving up Dalton Rushing, a catcher who has already proven his worth in the MLB, Zahir Hope, an outfielder with immense potential, and Jackson Ferris, our top pitching prospect, is an incredibly bitter pill to swallow. It's a decision that guts the top of our farm system, and one we could regret for years, especially if one of those players becomes the star we project them to be. However, the mandate from our front office, with the contracts of Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts on the books, is to win now. The pressure to maximize this championship window is absolute, and a move like this screams, we're all in. On the other hand, we have the guided missile approach, the pursuit of Jhoan Duran. This isn't an attempt to patch multiple holes with high-quality duct tape. This is an attempt to buy the most devastating weapon on the market to solve one specific problem. Acquiring Duran would transform our bullpen from a strength into an impenetrable fortress. Imagine the last 3 innings being handed over to Phillips, Gratterall, and Duran. Games would effectively become 6 innings long. In a playoff series, where every run is crucial, having a closer who is practically automatic is an advantage that cannot be overstated. Duran's talent is generational, his velocity is historic, and his contract control makes him more than just a rental. He would be a pillar of our bullpen for years, but this approach also has its drawbacks. The cost, though, for a single player would be similarly massive, likely requiring at least 2 of our top prospects. And more importantly, it only solves one problem. We would still have a starting rotation with question marks about health and consistency. Having an elite bullpen is fantastic, but if your starters can't get you to the 7th inning, its effectiveness is diminished. We would be forced to pursue another starter on a separate market or cross our fingers and hope our internal arms stay healthy and effective down the stretch. My final analysis, as your dedicated insider, leans slightly and with great hesitation toward the Nationals deal. And here's why. The most fundamental and systemic need for our team right now is starting rotation depth and reliability. A shaky rotation puts unsustainable pressure on the bullpen and the offense, day in and day out. Mackenzie Gore directly addresses that issue with elite, controllable talent. He's not just a stopgap, he's a foundational piece. Finnegan, while perhaps not as dominant as Duran, is a valuable bonus who also improves the bullpen. Yes, the price is heartbreaking. Losing Rushing, Hopin, and Ferris hurts. But to build a dynasty and chase back-to-back titles, sometimes painful sacrifices are necessary. In baseball, starting pitching depth often trumps bullpen dominance. But that's just my take, based on years of covering this team. Now, I want to know what Dodger Nation thinks. This is the conversation that truly matters. Are you willing to pull the trigger on the Gore and Finnegan trade, giving up Rushing, Hope, and Ferris for a shot at glory now? Or is the price just too high? Would you rather the front office go all in on Jhoan Duran, creating the best bullpen in baseball and worrying about the rotation later? What's the bigger priority? An all-star starter or a lockdown closer? Let me know your thoughts and your own trade proposals in the comments below. I read every single one and I want to hear your arguments. The deadline is approaching fast and the situation could change at any moment. To make sure you don't miss any breaking news or in-depth analysis, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. I'll be here to break it all down as it happens. For News Dodgers 3 Mil MLB, I'm your host. Thanks for watching, and let's go Dodgers.